Hello and welcome to our 20-minute morning yoga refresh. We'll start in any comfortable position here at the top of our mat. Just taking a moment and a couple of breaths to ground down and just be present in our practice. As we inhale, we'll sweep our arms all the way up to the sky, and then exhale, hands to heart center. We'll repeat this a couple more times here, inhaling to sweep the arms up, and exhale, hands to heart center. 2 more, inhale to sweep up, and exhale back down. And one last time, inhaling to sweep the arms all the way up, and then exhale, hands to heart. We'll then place our hands back onto our knees and start to roll our chest forward here, making big circles, exhaling to round through the spine, inhaling to roll forward, and exhaling to roll back, kind of like a seated cat-cow here, as we make our big circles, keeping both hips planted on the ground. Inhaling to expand through the chest and exhale to contract. Taking your time here, synchronizing the breath with the movement. And then we'll start to take those circles in the opposite direction. Again, coming forward with each inhale, and then rounding back with each exhale. Making these circles as slow and intentional as you'd like. We'll take just a few more breaths here. And then we'll slowly start to bring it back to center. Rolling over onto our hands and knees for tabletop, we'll prepare for a few cat-cows. Hands stay stacked under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. As we inhale to drop the belly, lift the chest. And exhale to round through the spine, contracting navel to spine. Repeat that a few more times, synchronizing the breath of the movement. Inhaling to drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, round. And then maybe making any other movements that may feel comfortable here. Maybe that's taking circles with the hips or the neck. Just moving in any way that feels good in your body for today. If you're making circles, making sure that you're taking them in the opposite direction as well. Continuing to drop the belly with each inhale and round with each exhale. We'll bring it back to neutral, starting to tuck the toes underneath for our first downward facing dog. As we inhale, we'll walk all the way up to the top of the mat and lift up halfway, flat back, exhale, fold. Inhaling to sweep our arms all the way up towards the sky, and then exhaling, hands to heart. Inhaling to drop the hips, lift the hands up for chair, and then exhale all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, and then placing the hands down, stepping back, coming down as we exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhaling to lift the right leg up towards the sky, and then exhaling to step it through, coming to our warrior one or high lunge. Inhaling to sweep the arms up, and then placing the hands down, stepping back and coming down half or all the way, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. We'll start to slowly walk all the way up to the top of the mat, inhaling to halfway lift, and exhale, fold. As we inhale, we'll drop the hips, lift the arms up for chair, and then exhale to stand, hands to heart. Inhale to drop the hips once more, lifting the arms up for chair, and exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and placing the hands down, stepping back, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. As we inhale, we'll lift the left leg up towards the sky, and then exhale to step it through, preparing for a warrior one or high lunge. Inhaling to sweep our arms up towards the sky, and then placing our hands down. Exhale as we step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale, downward facing dog for 5 deep breaths. Making sure that we're tenting down through all 10 fingertips, lifting the hips up high and dropping the heels down low. And then we'll slowly start to walk all the way up to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, drop the hips, lift the arms up for chair, and then exhale to come up into a standing pose. We'll take just a couple of breaths here before we start to bring that into our second round. As we inhale, we'll drop the hips, lift the arms up for chair. Exhale, hands come down, stepping back, and exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhaling to sweep the right leg up towards the sky, then exhaling to step it through for a warrior one or high lunge. Inhale, arm sweep up, and then placing the hands down as we step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. We'll slowly start to walk all the way up to the top of the mat. Inhale to halfway lift and exhale, fold. As we inhale, we'll drop the hips, lift the arms up for chair. Exhale, standing, hands to heart. Inhaling to drop the hips, lift the arms up, chair. And exhale, folding all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. And then planting our hands down, stepping back, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. As we inhale, we'll sweep our left leg up. And then exhale, stepping it through into our high lunge. Inhale to sweep the arms up. And then placing the hands down, stepping back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. For 5 long deep breaths, taking the time to catch up with our breath here, lifting the hips up towards the sky, making sure that we're dropping our chest down. And then we'll slowly start to walk all the way up to the top of the mat here. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. As we inhale, we'll drop the hips, lift the arms up for our final chair, and then standing back up into our final mountain pose here. I'm going to prepare for a tree now, so placing all of our weight into our left foot, starting to bring the right foot either onto the inside of the calf or left inner thigh, having the knee out long, making sure that you're either above or below the knee here. Hands come into prayer and gazing out to something in front of us that's not moving, keeping our focal point. Again, soft gaze. Hands to prayer, maybe choosing to bring them up into beautiful branches of our tree. Wherever you are, just coming back to center wherever you might get distracted, or if you're wobbling. If you fall down, just coming right back. Good, engaging the core here for more stability, keeping a micro bend in that left knee. We'll bring our hands back to prayer if they're not there already, lifting the right knee up high and then dropping it down, taking a couple of breaths here before we take it to the other side. Left foot comes to the inner right calf or inner thigh. Knee is out wide. Bringing your hands to prayer here, and again, soft gaze on something in front of you that's not moving, keeping your hands exactly where they are. Or if we choose, bringing them up into beautiful branches. Wherever you are, a slight micro bend in that right knee. And again, just coming back to focus if you waver or fall, keeping the shoulders down and back. We'll then start to bring our hands back to prayer. If they're not there already, lifting the left knee up and then dropping it down. Just standing here in our mountain pose at the top of our mat. Sweeping our arms all the way up to the sky as we inhale, and exhale, folding all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. And then we'll plant our hands down, stepping our legs out to plank, and then as slowly as we can, coming all the way down onto our bellies. We'll start to bring both of our arms out long ahead of us here. Inhale to prepare. And then as we exhale, we'll lift the right arm and left leg, and then drop that down. Inhale to prepare. And exhale, lifting the left arm and right leg, and then dropping that right back down slowly. We'll keep repeating this. Lifting the right arm and left leg, and then dropping that down. Left arm, right leg, drop that down. One more time on each side here. Right arm, left leg, and then down. And then left arm, right leg, and then back down. And we'll just bring our hands here underneath our forehead, resting our forehead on our hands, dropping down just for a couple of deep breaths. And we'll bring our arms back out here and bring all four limbs out. Inhale to prepare, and exhale to lift all of it up here, pressing our pelvis down into the earth as we lift our arms and legs, staying strong in the lower back. And then bringing it all the way back down. Hands come back to rest on our mat. Forehead rests on top of the hands. Maybe shifting through the hips here side to side to release through that low back. And then we'll stretch our right arm out alongside us here, starting to tend into our left fingertips and roll over onto our right side. Option to bend to that left knee and kickstand it out behind us. Feeling a nice deep stretch to that right pec and shoulder. Couple more deep breaths here. We'll start to roll back to center, taking it to the other side, extending that left arm out long, tenting through your right fingertips and rolling over onto your left side. Option here again, kickstand the right leg out behind you, feeling a nice deep stretch here. Couple more deep breaths, feeling a nice stretch to the left pec and shoulder. And then rolling back up to center here. Bring both hands underneath the shoulders and pushing back into our child's pose. Well, then we're going to bring our hands to meet our heels, taking a hold of our heels as we roll forward onto the top of our head for a rabbit pose, feeling a nice deep stretch here through the entire back body. Taking a couple more deep breaths here, and then starting to roll our hips back, swinging our legs out in front of us here. And then slowly as we can, starting to roll all the way down onto our backs. We'll bring in the heels now, bring them in towards the fingertips. Maybe fingertips are grazing the heels, tucking the pelvis in so that our back is flat against the mat, preparing for our bridge. So we inhale to prepare, we'll exhale to push through the heels, coming into our bridge pose. Thinking of squeezing the knees in together as if you have an imaginary block between them, lifting those hips up higher. And then vertebrae by vertebrae, start to roll all the way back down. We'll knock the knees in together here, or just bringing them in and rolling side to side before we prepare for our second round. Pressing down through our heels to lift our hips up to the sky. Maybe interlacing our hands here on the earth underneath our low back. Then bringing your hands back out beside you and starting to roll all the way back down as slow as you can. We'll start to extend the legs out long, bringing that right knee in and just rolling the hips side to side. Start to shift the hips over towards the right side here. And then drop the right knee over towards the left side. Right arm comes out alongside us and gazing towards that right side here in our spinal twist. Making sure that both shoulders are down towards the ground. Just taking another couple of deep breaths. And we'll slowly bring that back to center here, switching out the knees, bring that left knee in, right leg comes out long. Just sweep the knees side to side here for a couple of moments, feeling a nice massage to the left hip. And then shifting the hips over to the left, dropping the left knee down towards the right side, left arm comes out long, and gazing over towards that left hand. Again, both shoulders remain on the ground, slowing down the breath as we start to wind down our practice. And we'll start to bring it back to center. Bring both knees in here. Be rolling side to side or preparing for a happy baby here. Hands to the outside edges of the feet. Rolling side to side or taking any other last pose or variation that you would like before coming into our final resting pose. Taking your time here. And whenever you're ready, just starting to lengthen out through the legs, fully extending out and relaxing into our Shavasana. Taking up as much time and space as we need, maybe pausing the video if you know you'd like to take a little bit longer. Otherwise, fully relaxing all of your limbs and your entire body into the earth. And I'll just call you back when it's time. Taking your time to remain a little longer if you'd like to stay on your back, or maybe starting to wiggle through the fingers and toes, maybe starting to roll up through the ankles and wrists. Either staying here on our backs or choosing any way that we'd like to come back into seated here. Maybe that's rolling over onto one side, keeping the eyes either closed or in a soft gaze. We'll come back into our comfortable seated position, bringing hands back to heart center. And taking a few moments here to thank ourselves for showing up and to thank all of the teachers who came before us in this beautiful practice of yoga. Taking a humble bow of gratitude. Thank you so much for showing up today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.